And I find that a lot of women feel insecure about their bodies, and it oftentimes doesn't want like they don't want to have sex because of it, because they're worried about like their stretch marks or any other like so and so flaws that makes them feel unsexy. So, what advice would you give a woman who struggles with this?
I'm a big fan of meet yourself where you are. I'm not like one of those people who's like positive thinking, love yourself. Because if you don't, you should face the reality of what it is that's bothering you. So meet yourself where you are means, okay, I'm not telling myself when I lose 10 pounds, then I'll feel comfortable. Or, when I'm able to get rid of my cellulite, then I'll do doggy style. Find a way that's in your control right now to do the things that you want to do in a way that's comfortable for you. That might mean keeping your bra on. Maybe that means wearing a fishnet bodysuit. Maybe it means turning the lights off. I think it's just a matter of like being with yourself, being where you are, and meeting yourself in the middle. Like, okay, this is, for me, I'm a hairy person, and I'm like constantly struggling with hair, and it's
Yeah, me
always like
too.
coming up. And I'm with a partner now where I don't have to have that battle constantly because my previous partner would always point it out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having it's very difficult for me to be on top of this. So now, if I'm like, I know I'm hairy, I'm not comfortable. There's just certain positions I don't get into, like from the back spread open, because I'm like, oh, my butthole's probably not hairy. And it's like I don't force myself to feel comfortable if I'm not. I just tailor my comfort level so I can still be in the moment and be present and enjoy it without putting myself in a position that I know I'm bound to feel insecure in.
So that I mean that kind of answers my next question, but like have you ever had any insecurities before or during sex and like what have you done to overcome it?
Yeah, and I think smell is for me was definitely one of them where I went through a period of time of like bacteria vaginosis being a struggle for me, and there were times I just didn't feel confident in that. And I think that meeting myself where I am is admitting that I don't feel confident, doing a lot of research to understand like how to balance your pH and what is good bacteria versus bad bacteria. But in the moment of sexual act, I might open a window or light a candle if I felt that was a major concern. And I think, hair wise, that is something that I do have to tailor sometimes. If my partner, for example, wants to like lick my leg and I'm like, oh, I know I'm spiky, I might just shy them away from that. So I think it just, you don't force yourself to feel what you don't feel, but you do the things that allow you to feel like your best self. And in any given moment, because we're not always in our best tip top shape. Like, there are those days that you're like, everything feels great. I just worked out. I drank a lot of water today, but I'm on a vegan diet. I know I taste amazing. I know I'm smooth as hell. Like, experience all of this because I'm at my peak. But I just don't put the pressure on myself to be there every single encounter. That just would be too much.
What have you done to make yourself feel more comfortable naked in front of somebody?
I've always been very disciplined about my body. I'm in my 30s now, so it's no longer like a given that I'm going to be in shape. So I'm fortunate though that my parents did put me in sports growing up, and I have a good muscle memory. But now in this stage of my life, like I do have to be very cognizant about what I eat. Very cognizant that I work out at least for half an hour a day. And so those are the things that I do outside of the bedroom that allow me to always feel comfortable naked. And I'm like
Yeah.
naked all the time at home.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, all of my neighbors have seen me naked. It's like not even possible they haven't. Like I'm very comfortable not wearing clothes. But I do think I put in a lot of work to feel that way. And times that I don't feel that way, I don't think I change my behavior a lot. So I don't put the pressure on myself to be at my peak at all times. But I definitely do put in the work so that I feel close to it most of the time.
What are your top three things that you have done to feel, or like top three advice that you would give someone to feel more confident in the bedroom?
Number one, identify what doesn't make you confident. I enjoy insecure people more than I enjoy delusional people. I think it's important to know if you feel uncomfortable, you got to ask yourself the follow up questions of what specifically is bothering me. So once you identify what specifically is bothering you, I do this self centered exercise with people where it's like make a long list of things that you love about yourself, a long list of things that you hate about yourself, and then a list of things that you feel neutral about, things that you neither love nor hate, just accept as a part of who you are, because there is some positive and negative with it. And I ask people to focus on that list of things they hate and see if there are small ways they can move it up or down, up into things I love or down into things I accept about myself. And once you've kind of done that and gotten to peace with where your problem areas are or things that you're no longer going to be concerned about, or you identify what you love about yourself, you can find ways to, again, meet yourself where you are. So it's building strategies that allow you to get out of your head and feel comfortable while still honoring what you're working on and what you're not quite ready to show off in that way. And again, that could be a variety of things from uh, the way that you light the bedroom or the way that you light your own bathroom. I do little things, like there's little stuff that I do to protect my own self-esteem. Like I was saying to my friend, like if I go out for the day and I put on makeup and I do my hair and I feel really beautiful, I literally refuse to look in the mirror for the rest of the day. And it's because I'm not going to look in the mirror and be like, oh, I look better than I thought I did. I'm only going to look in the mirror and be like, oh, bitch, you thought you look cute. Your face is greasy. Da-da-da-da. Your pores look massive. It's just like, so because I left with a good feeling, I just want that to last. And so I avoid mirrors all day. So you make your own little negotiations with yourself to protect your self-esteem, because ultimately it doesn't really fully matter how you look. Like, of course, it plays a part, but really how you respond to the world based on how you feel you look is really what the important thing to protect is.
How would you recommend a woman create more sensuality?
I think again, it's a mix of my sensual session series on my YouTube channel is really about me sourcing people who I find are really good at something that I'm not. So if I'm not really keen on movement, then I find somebody who is. If I'm not the best at putting jewelry on myself or deciding what jewelry is the balance of like too little and too much, I find somebody who's great at it. So I think that seeking out professionals who have put in more time and work in the area that you haven't. So, for example, if fitness is a struggle for you and getting in touch with your body and feeling good moving it in a healthy way is hard for you, get a personal trainer. One of my favorite quotes is to sell your strengths and buy your weaknesses.
Yeah,
And I think
I
that
like that.
sensuality is a journey to, it's becoming superhuman, really, truly. It's being able to access all of your senses and get out of your subconscious, to just be present in the moment, to feel, experience, touch at a heightened level. It's a superpower, and so you might need super help getting there. But also just be patient with yourself and know that the main thing of sensuality is enjoyment. It's like when someone is so comfortable in their skin that they're enjoying every moment, whether they're in line at the DMV or they're having sex with somebody, like they just take the time to experience themselves and experience their bodies and experience their sensations at a heightened level because they're not distracted by insecurities.
So, for someone who wants to start talking dirty during sex, what advice would you give them to feel comfortable doing it?
I'm not the best at this, and nor is it like an area. It's push and pull. I also think like don't pressure yourself to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
You find out what is comfortable for you. Mind you, if your partner identifies it as something that really turns them on, I think it's helpful just to like maybe ask them a couple follow-up questions. Like what do you like direct? What do you like? And even if you guys watch videos together, like what are some porns that you enjoy watching, and maybe that'll give you a hint as to like what kind of language or sounds that they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But if you yourself just want to do it, I mean, I do dirty talk more when I masturbate than I do with a partner, which is weird, because my partner doesn't really dialogue during sex in that way. We're more like sounds and touches, as opposed to like instructions, like verbal instructions. But when I'm by myself, sometimes like I be talking to myself, and so I think if you it's a good starting place of like just allowing yourself to have a free flow of dialogue about pleasure while you're pleasuring yourself. But other than that, I think it's just one of those things where it's a different language. So learning, listening, watching porn, asking your friends, getting tips, because it really is a separate language. But you obviously, if you're doing it for a partner, you want to tailor that language so that it's suitable for them. As I would hope they would do the same if you wanted language that was suitable for you.
How can someone spice things up and make time for sex if you and your partner work a lot of hours and are always exhausted and have like a ton of errands to run after and before work?
Yeah, this is like the number one question. There's a lot of amazing books. Esther Perel has a book called Mating in Captivity, which I love, which is really about success in a long-term marriage and how you can go about doing just that. People have entire practices dedicated towards it. I think my biggest tip would just be don't think that spicing it up means you have to go out and buy a stripper pole or that you have to bring a third person into the bedroom or your partner has to try anal penetration. Like, it doesn't have to be these extreme things It can be something small like this time we keep the lights on, or this time like I approach you first, or maybe this time we leave a porn playing in the background. It making those little adjustments to trick your brain, because really people, get bored because you're doing the same thing over and over again. But anybody who's a cook knows this. Like, you can make spaghetti the same way over and over again. One time you add Frank's Red Hot sauce, and your senses are like, "Whoa, what's this new meal?"
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing when it comes to sexuality. We kind of make the same food over and over again, but over time we may have little differences. And I think with sex, I apply the same technique. If you guys have identified something major, sure, you can do that. But other than that, don't put the pressure on yourself for sex to become like completely brand new. It can be little things. And then scheduling sex, every sex expert will tell you this, every sex therapist will tell you this, that scheduling sex, no different than you schedule a date or dinner plans, can be important, especially as your schedules get busier.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday is our day, and then we know all day Tuesday, maybe we're a little kinder together, maybe we send sexy texts as the day goes on, and everybody rolls their eyes at the scheduling of sex, but it works wonders for many relationships, especially people whose lives is very scheduled. It's just natural that would be an addition to that.
What would you say like a normal healthy sex life is, and how often on average, like a month, should somebody have sex with their partner?
I think those number games get like really tricky because they have that stat that if you have sex less than 11 times per year, you're considered to be in a sexless marriage. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you have it 12, you're fine. Like, it just gets um, when you start to, if you have to like base your sex life on like, okay, what's normal, it's probably not the best sex life. If I'm considering, well, how many times should I do something versus how many times I want to, I don't think that would be an authentic expression of self. So instead of worrying about how often or how many or how freaky your sex should be, just have a conversation with your partner about what your ideal sex life looks like. And then also as well too, it's important to understand that many people build an ideal around what they think sex is. So for example, a lot of women in long-term relationships, because sex no longer is about the romance and the wooing, and maybe there's less foreplay because their partner is tired, their concept of sex becomes like, I'm donating my body for your pleasure.
Yeah.
Or the sex is boring or not fulfilling for me. And so when they say, I don't really care to have sex more than like, I don't know, once every 2 weeks, it's the version of sex that you're offering. Because sex doesn't have to even include penetration. It could be 2 hours of heavy petting, 2 hours of mutual masturbation, or half an hour of mutual masturbation. So I think I would ask someone that question of how often, what does that feel like, and then also ask them to define it. And then ask them to define what their best intimate experiences are, and then how often would they like to have those. And it's a conversation between two people as opposed to a measuring stick to put yourself up against.
Why do you think it's important to have sex?
It's a natural human drive for most people, like food, water, shelter, love.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's important to orgasm because it reduces blood pressure, allows you to sleep better, increases circulation, releases immunoglobulins, which increase your immune system, releases DHEA, which keeps your skin looking healthier and younger. It's a vital part of your system. I mean, it's there for a reason, and your body does require or crave some form of physical touch or intimacy, and orgasm does have positive health benefits for you.
Yeah.
It's important to be happy. I could say that. If don't have sex because you think you're supposed to. Do it because you want to, and it would be a healthy addition to your life. And if you're having to ask the question, why is it important to have sex, then maybe ask yourself, why is it more validating for me not to? I'm just not a big fan of like, everybody should be doing this.
Yeah.
Because we can reserve our right to be unique and to have our own recipe for happiness and health. And just because you don't orgasm doesn't mean you're going to have bad circulation. So yeah, I think just enjoy yourself, enjoy your body, and however you define that for yourself, awesome.
So I just want to thank Shan for coming on today. It was absolutely amazing getting to interview her and just pick her brain about this subject. I've been a huge fan of hers for a while now, and I've watched her YouTube videos religiously for about a year. If you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you just want to learn more about sex and feeling more confident in the bedroom and all of that stuff. She puts out amazing content. So I'm going to put all the links below so you can get to know her and connect with her more. And I hope that you guys found this interview helpful, and thank you guys for listening. Bye.